Hi guys, it's April and I garden down in southeast Nebraska, zone 6A, and we are about 4 weeks out from our last frost date, which is usually at the end of April. I like to plant out most of my warm weather crops about 2 weeks after that, in the middle of May. But because we are about 4 weeks out from our last frost date, I'm going to be starting some flowers. I have poppies, calendulas, nasturtium, zinnias, and sunflowers that I'm going to attempt to start today. I did sow some poppies directly outside, and I've done that for the last 6 years, and it's worked really well. But this year, we've had some really weird up and down weather, and it's been really dry. I don't think that they're gonna make it. So I wanted to attempt to start some inside to see how that goes. So I have a whole bunch of different styles of pots behind me that I am going to start all of these in, but I'll show you what each of them are when we get over there. I'm going to start with these 5x5 trays because this is going to be the poppies and the Dusty Miller, and both of these are really small seeds and they're just surface sow. And I'm not going to put them on a heat mat because they're both more of that cool season crop. I've actually got some self-seeded Dusty Miller that's starting to come up right now, but I wanted to use up these seeds. So I've got individual humidity domes for each of these so I can just slide them underneath the light. But I'll start with the Dusty Miller since they're in my hand right now. Let's see. I'm just gonna start this whole pack. I think so, mainly because these seeds, I think I got in like 2020, if I remember correctly. And that's why I wanted to start them in the 5x5. And I'll label that. Now the poppies are all seeds I've saved myself because I used the actual seed packets outside. So I don't know for sure what kind of poppies I will get from these. But we'll see. I think that's all I'm gonna do. I have poppies from several years, but I think I'll just do that pack so I don't want to overwhelm this container. Once again, that is the poppies. Let me get some vermiculite. I'm only going to do this very lightly, and because I have saturated the soil so much, I'm actually not going to spray these down. Got a little excited with the water today. Okay, I might have to move these out of the way so I can get these humidity domes on. There's one. There is two. And now I'm gonna get them underneath the lights. So all of these are going to be my sunflower containers. I'm gonna put these under the humidity dome with what is left of the peppers and tomatoes that haven't sprouted. So this is about as much room as I have over there right now. I'm gonna try 6 different varieties. And I'm gonna start with this gummy bear. It's a dwarf sunflower. And I really love those sunflowers that have the double bloom and really full head of petals. So that's what these are. I'm only gonna put 3 in here. And I think as I start to get more and more room under my lights, because I am planting things out, I'll start more and more flowers. So this is just the beginning. This is my first round. I'd like to get a succession going, so I just have sunflowers that are blooming all summer. That was what, the gummy bear? This next one is the teddy bear, which is also a dwarf variety. Should get. Is this the correct way to do it? Probably not. Is it the way I am doing it? Yes, it is. For years I've tried to direct sow sunflowers, but I've always never really succeeded because of the birds. And that was the teddy bear. This is another dwarf sunflower, but this is called sun gold. So last year I decided to start my sunflowers outside, but in pots before I planted them out. And that worked relatively well. So I figured it couldn't hurt to try it indoors to start. Will I regret this later? Possibly. But I have enough seeds to at least give it a try. That was what, the sun gold? Yeah. Here we have the Goldie. If I can get the pack open. This looks like it's going to be a slightly bigger sunflower, if these seeds are anything to go by. And this is the Goldie Honey Bear, where you can start to see the type of sunflower that I'm planting out. They're just all different heights, but they all have that really filled out flower head. So usually any sunflower with bear in the name, I'm drawn to. And then this last sunflower is the gold coin. And once again, it's a really filled out sunflower. I think this one's a taller one. I started with the dwarf varieties. Oh, nope, I think this is another dwarf. Okay. I will label this and get some vermiculite on top. These ones I will spray down, and then I'll take them over to the humidity dome. So this is the humidity dome where I've got some peppers I'm still keeping an eye on, not very hopeful, and then a few tomatoes left that I'm keeping watch over. These are some eggplants and some of the spinach that hasn't germinated. They're another one that I'm kind of iffy on if they actually will or not. But since I have room, we will put all of the sunflowers in here as well. And And then in this tray, I'm gonna do the calendula, the nasturtiums, and the zinnias. I'll start with the calendula because they are on top. In this first 6-pack, I'm going to do the Bronze Beauty. Maybe I'll do 2 per cell and then kind of thin them out later. I'm just gonna press these in, and then we're gonna get a good layer of vermiculite on these. Then I have the Pink Surprise. Oh, there's 3 in that one, but that's okay. This one's a little similar, but this is the Strawberry Blondie. Okay, that's strawberry. This is the zeolites. So far, all of these have been in pretty close to the same colored range. So the pink orangish color. Oops. And the last calendula that I'm going to do today is slightly different, and that is the Snow Princess. And I know this next one isn't a flower, but I wanted to try growing it. But this is some bunny tail grass. This is definitely a surface sow. Never attempted this before, but we'll see how it goes. And then I have 2 different types of zinnias. The first one is the agave. This, I believe this is new this year to Johnny's. And before I do that, I need to label this. Okay. I'm gonna try and just get 2 seeds in each of them, just like the calendula. So I think what I'm gonna do for this is I'm just going to lightly press them in, and once again, I'm just gonna give them a good cover with vermiculite. And then I have some of the cupcake pink mix. This is a shorter variety of zinnia. They usually get maybe 12 inches tall in theory. No, that was the Dreamland. I didn't buy any Dreamland this year, did I? That was a fail on my part. Because yeah, these get up to 30 inches. Yeah, because I have, there's a border style zinnia that I usually like to attempt to grow each year, and I must have just forgot to even put in an order for those. They usually come in a pelleted form. I must have just not put in an order with that company this year. It probably would have been the only seed I would have ordered from them, so that's probably why I didn't. Now the last four are all going to be a nasturtium. The first nasturtium I have is the Cherry Rose Jewel. These are bigger, yes, so I am gonna poke holes for these. Big holes, mind you. I've just had some of these seeds for quite a while. Otherwise I just poke one in each of them, but I can always thin them out if needed. And I'll still cover these with vermiculite. It was the Cherry Rose. And then we have the Tip Top Rose. And just go ahead and poke holes for everything at this point, since all we have is nasturtiums left. And I'm just gonna assume I have enough seeds to put 2 in each of these. I have just enough for this one. So I am out of the Tip Top Rose. Only took me 4 or 5 years. Was the Tip Top Rose. Next one is the Bloody Mary mix, which these seeds are just as old, so we'll see if I have enough of these. Ooh, I might not be able to do 2, but at least do 1. Then I'll separate and thin these out as necessary. And the very last one is this Tip Top Pink Blush. It's just as old. I might run out of these too. No, there are a ton in here. Now the fun part, covering it absolutely to the brim with vermiculite. Just gonna do it a little lightly over the grass seed. It doesn't need to be nearly as heavy on the nasturtiums since I actually buried those in the soil. So what I'm gonna do, because I don't know if that grass seed needs light to germinate or not, it's about right there. So I'm going to turn on this grow light. So it's on heat and it has a grow light. We'll see what happens there. And that is my first round of all of these flowers. If I start to get more space under the grow lights, as I mentioned, I might do some additional rounds of any of these. I don't know. I'm playing it by ear this year, but that means I'm at the part of my video where I usually walk you around and show you all the seedlings. So that's what I'm gonna do. So here we have the flowers we just started. And right underneath, we have a whole bunch of peppers. And then we have at least the start of this tray of tomatoes. And then this tray right here of peppers. All of the peppers are getting really, really big. So I will probably be thinning and separating soon. And of course, we saw this tray earlier. Up here we have the completely filled tray of tomato starts. They're looking okay. I've got quite a few going at this point. Underneath is some of my warmer season herbs. So we've got the basil and the thyme and all of those. I'm going to be separating and dividing some of that really, really soon. Unfortunately, I only have one eggplant right now. And then down here, I have a whole bunch of different flowers. This is a mix of the Livingston daisies, the straw flowers, I have some sweet williams, and just for funness, I've got some spinach thrown in here as well. And that kind of happened because I've been taking things outside, and the spinach can handle some of those cooler temperatures along with the sweet williams and the foxglove, so that's why they're on a tray together. Over here we can see some more of the Livingston daisies, some coleus, some straw flowers, some echinacea, and then the flowers we just started, along with some of the cooler season herbs. So I've got some of the spinach, I've got the dills, I've got the cilantro. This, I think, what is this one? Oh, the agastache, and then all of the cabbage and bok choy. And right up here is very temporary. This is some of the paper daisies and the straw flowers. This has been living upstairs underneath those grow lights because they've gotten too tall. But because I wanted to fertilize everything, they are living under here because what I'm about to show you upstairs in the other lights, I'm hoping as soon as I'm done here, I can put outside and fertilize those because they are the true cool season stuff that can handle the super cold temperatures. It's like 48 degrees outside right now. As soon as it hits 50, those 3 trays are gonna go outside. And these right here are the trays I was telling you about. This is normally where that tray of paper daisies and straw flowers have been living. But here is the lettuce and the hollyhocks and the onions. I'm waiting patiently to get these outside today. So I'm hoping that'll happen soon and they'll get fertilized when they're outside because I don't want to do it while they're in these cages. And that's where everything is at right now. I mentioned several times that I'm hoping I will get some of those trays outside today. Not as many as I have been because we've just got this stream of cool temperatures the next couple of days. But before that, it's been 80 and 90 degrees, so a lot of these trays I've been taking outside. We'll see how next week goes. I might plant out the carrot seeds, the beets, and the radishes, but I don't think I'm gonna have the nighttime temperatures where I'm comfortable putting out, say, the cabbage and the spinach and things like that. So I might hold off on those until maybe the 7th of April or something like that. But getting some of those root seeds in the ground, I don't think will do any harm because they will just come up when they're ready to come up. So that's the tentative plan. But next week, I am going to be dealing with the peppers. They're getting crowded in the containers they're in. So I'm gonna separate out a few that I know I want a couple plants of, and then the rest of them, I'm gonna have to make some hard decisions and thin them out. So if you want to be there for moral support next week, subscribe down below, hit the bell, do all the things to get all of the notifications. And I also have an Instagram and Threads account where you can follow all of this as well. But I really would appreciate that support because thinning out is always the worst because you see the potential in every single one of those plants and you don't want to destroy it, but you have to. So I would love to hear how you guys handle thinning out your plants, how you make the decision on which of the plants you want to keep. Love any advice that you guys have. Otherwise, I hope I will see you guys again in another video, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.